Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Yeah, it's the greatest, the best, the most consistent, the most prolific. We walking everybody down. It's the live show, the daytime live show. It's the classic codes. You know what it is. I gotta come to the ring, man.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance, standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you, boy, I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with real life. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me. It can end quickly. In the way I level up, I make them spin differently. I should start a foundation. They be make a wish in me. I got these
Yeah. Let's go. Yo, it's classic with the classic codes, and we got another great live show, man. Whether you tapped in right now or whether you watching it on playback, I hope you feel these vibes. I feel good, and I hope y'all feel the same. We got a great live show put together, man. Let me show y'all the artwork. The thumbnail god is back. Yeah. First Baddie syndrome. But like we always do at this time, man, we're gonna get into the code language conversation. We're going to get into a live reaction video. We're going to get into the question of the day. And then we also going to get into a TikTok story time. So we added a segment. And then if we got some activity, we're going to go into the chat Q&A. So y'all know what it is, man. Y'all run the show for real. It's an interactive situation. So please, as you chime in. You feel me? But yeah, let's move ahead, man. Let's go ahead and get off into the reaction video. That's where we're going to start at for today. Our live reaction video, we're going to slide over to Corey Holcomb. Talking about how society turned black women against black men. Now, with this video, Corey is actually going to be short-winded. This video is only a few minutes long. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to hit play. I haven't watched this, so we're going to go full authentic, right? But we're just going to hit play on it. I'm going to let it run through the first time. It's 3 minutes and it's some change. I'm going to let it run through the first time, and then we're going to go back through it and digest it and dissect it, and I'll give my feedback on it as well. All right, so let's roll.
You cannot don't get it twisted. God damn it. Most women only bring unsolicited opinions to the table. It's emotion.
Right.
You cannot lead off emotions. There's so many women that I first start fucking with them. I gotta break them as they talking. I'll be like, and I done had them look at me like I was the devil. I mean, like, I don't think I'll be able to fix this. I'm still giving you 200 for the pussy, but I don't think we can fix that, man. Look at that. There's some sister say. Sister April. What did Sister April say? A black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. I like that. And not just because she said something about a man.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, a black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. That's deep.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know too many sisters that have made the dad a villain.
Man.
What do we do about this? Sisters, why do we, if you see a black man with a woman from another race, I'm saying starting in 2025, how can you knock him? I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you see a man, we talked about the Jimmy Carter funeral shit. Michelle Obama.
You know what? I'm going to call an audible. We almost 2 minutes in. I was going to let it run all the way through, but he on his A game today. His points are being made. He's being precise. He's being concise. So we're going to pause play. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to chime in and say what we got to say. But Corey Holcomb, he in his bag right now. Let's go.
It twisted. God damn it. Most women only bring unsolicited opinions to the table. It's emotion.
Right.
You cannot lead off emotions. There's so many women that I first start fucking with them. I got to break them as they talking, I'll be like,
Yeah, I see where he coming from. Corey, a comedian, and so he gonna put some sauce on it, right? He gonna add his own comedic flavor to it. But I see where he's coming from in regards to this, in regards to having to break them, because oftentimes I have to have conversations with the women I deal with, you know, because they're often American or Americanized, and we have to have a conversation in regards to just the fact that I have a level of understanding as to the why most American sisters have some of the masculine, you know, proclivities that they have. And so once they know that you have some empathy and you understand the why, it really becomes a conversation about, are you willing to work on it though? Or are you kind of like on some, this how I am, and you just need to be ultra strong to handle how soft I am not? If you a sister that want a man that's going to handle how soft you are not, you aren't the woman for me, right? But if you a queen that say, you know what, I realize that due to said circumstantial and environmental things, you know, I realize that not only myself, but a lot of us American women are a bit more masculine than we even admittedly would like to be. And I do have a mind and a heart and a desire to work on it. Now we cooking with hot grease. We can get somewhere with that, right? But it is going to require some checking, like he said, in his own way. Right? Because you said you wanted to get better at following. Let me lead. And a lot of that requires a lot less chiming in. That's the thing about a lot of women that desire partnership instead of a traditional husband-wife dynamic, is because they want to chime in. They want a voice too, or they want, you know, a higher level of consideration than the traditional model may provide. And so there's this mesh point that gets tricky for a lot of people in the dating world. Let's continue.
and I done had them look at me like I was the devil. I mean, like, I don't think I'll be able to fix this. I'm still giving you 200 for the pussy, but I don't think we can fix that, man.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, they got to be pliable. When you go to check them, they're resistant to being checked. You may not have one that's pliable. Nobody is expecting for an American woman to show up perfect already, ready, move in ready. Nor should the woman expect that from the man, especially depending on what age and space y'all dating in. Those would be radical expectations, right? However, a mind, a desire, and some habits that coincide with growth and heading in the right direction, we can get with that. That's a train that a sister should be willing to get on. If you're a brother heading in the right direction, or if you had that conversation with that sister, y'all dating and you going through your vetting process, and you see that she understands her areas of opportunity, y'all have an opportunity. That's what I say. Let's go though.
There's something a sister say. Sister April. What does Sister April say? A black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. I like that. And not just because she said something about a man.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, a black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. That's deep.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know too many sisters that have made the dad a villain.
Man.
What do we do about this? Sisters, why do we, if you see a black man with a woman from another race, I'm saying starting in 2025, how can you knock him? I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, if you see a man, we talked about Jimmy Carter.
Let me chime in on Corey's question, because I believe his question was rhetorical, but I want to answer it. He said, if you see a black man in 2025 with a sister of another race, how can you knock him? You know, that was his question. I believe it was rhetorical, but I'd like to answer it. Here's the thing that we have to realize as men. Women oftentimes don't date themselves. They don't date themselves, right? So you have experiences with black woman, black woman, black woman, black woman. You have these experiences of intimately, romantically dating sisters. These sisters never dated a sister. They've never put themselves on the outside looking in. They don't have an experience of dating themselves. So you have to understand that they don't understand. So of course they're going to see a black man with a non-black woman and outwardly express whatever resentment they may have, because there's a level of empathy that isn't there. You can say for good reason, or you could say, listen more, because we'll explain our experiences. We'll tell you what the average black man's experience with the average black woman is. Whether or not they're inclined to believe that that's the case, that's a different conversation, right? But for me to respond to Corey, the reason why black women can see a black man with a non-black woman and harbor some level of resentment is because they don't understand the experience that you get on average. Because I will say this, most black men that end up with a non-black woman, it's by default. They wanted a sister. They wanted a black woman. They ended up because this is the woman that they ran into that appreciated them the way that they wanted to be appreciated. This is the woman that they ran into that catered and nurtured the way they wanted, that accepted and embraced their leadership, and that admired them, right? And she so happened to be whatever ethnicity that is, that happens to be non-black. But best believe what he found in her, more than likely, he looked for in a sister first, for sure.
Funeral shit. Michelle Obama, where she can go speak, she's there. But where she's supposed to have a seat and hold down the ex-president of the United States, she's not there. She would probably say she's the reason Barack got popularity or whatever. It's like, who are you? Why am I wasting my time building with you? I am fucking up my time on this planet sleeping with the enemy. They have done the job to turn you against us. They have done the job. You on the internet over a presidency vote where it was proven that most black men voted for the girl Kamala Harris anyway. The way they talked about us, and I'm not talking about every woman. I'm just talking about the average bitch sitting around doing nothing but running her mouth. And I ain't talking about just working a job. I'm talking about, if you look at these women and their history with men, you will see hatred toward men. And it was all orchestrated by the people who brought you here and made you build this country for nothing.
Damn.
I can't say.
Damn. That's heavy, champ. That's heavy, champ. Corey just said something, man. I got to hear that again. Hold on, man.
History with men, you will see hatred toward men. And it was all orchestrated by the people who brought you here and made you build this country for nothing. I can't say that enough. Let me say that one more time.
Yeah.
Your hatred for your men, sisters, was orchestrated by the people who brought us here and made us build this country for free. You better wake up.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers are waking up on who you are.
Man, listen.
Don't get it twisted.
We got hold on.
Most women only bring unsolicited.
Yeah, I think we got what we need from that. So listen, Corey just said a lot with that last piece. I do believe that the way that the black woman, so how do I put this? Okay. Men are leaders, but when it comes to dating, playing the field, courting, choosing, all of these things, we're largely reactive. The reason why we're reactive and not proactive is because oftentimes we would like to get the results. And the results from man to man vary from one to a couple things, right? You either just looking to hit something, you looking, intentionally and shopping for a wife out here in these streets, or you open to either type shit. And then you got the men running around who are practicing they going through their different parts of their journey. I've been celibate before, where I was out here in these streets and wasn't looking for nothing. Yeah, I'm focused on something totally different right now. I ain't even looking for nothing. So I've been there. So but from man to man, it's gonna be one of a few things that they looking for from women. You know what I'm saying? and you in one of them categories, depending on where you at in your journey as a man. And I'm saying all that just to say that this is why we're reactive, because we need this thing called consent. We need consent to marry a woman. We need consent to make love to a woman. We need consent. And so because of that, women do kind of hold the ball a little bit until it's time for us to kneel down, or not kneel down, but just propose, because I don't believe in kneeling down. But until it's time to propose, you know, up until that point, they got a lot of control in regards to the intimacy and the things that typically nowadays come before the marriage. So whatever they kind of say they looking for and like, you'll notice we try to become, or we try to check whatever boxes we're capable of checking. The height thing, God got to check that box for you. But when they say they want men to make a certain amount of money, you're seeing people go out here and try to get that bread. Men, by and large in America, due to the economy, but also due to the requests and the requirements of women out here, you're seeing a lot of men working 60 and 70 and 80 hours. That's happening out here. Y'all do y'all own research, you know? So we are reactive. We will try to become what they want because we want them. So I'm saying that to drive home the point here that a lot of the failed families, the failed relationships, the failed marriages, all of the stuff, a lot of that stuff that we see going on, it makes sense that it's not caused by the reactive party. Y'all following me? I'm trying to word this in a way where it doesn't sound harsh, like Corey kind of said it more bluntly than I'm saying, but it's like, over the last 50 years, who's changed more when it comes to mentality and thought process and day-to-day life structure? Has it been the black man or the black woman over the last 50 years? What do your average black man want from a woman from 50 years ago and today? The same shit. The same shit. 50 years ago and today, your average black man was working jobs, making money and providing for themselves. And if they had a family, doing their best to provide for a family. Though 50 years ago, the economy was different and making $60,000 a year could provide for a family of four. Now you need to make double of that. You need to make double that. Yet the average income is still around 60,000. Nobody wants to consider that though. But yet and still, that about the black man is still the same. 50 years ago, what was the average black woman doing? Working some type of a job, maybe part-time, maybe full-time, but working some type of a job and largely taking care of home. Today, and then what was the desires of the average black woman? What did they want from a man 50 years ago? They wanted a husband. They wanted a husband. If you asked the average woman 50 years ago if they had a burning desire on the inside, even if they could answer it anonymously in secret, if they had a burning desire on the inside to play the field and sleep around with a bunch of guys before they choose that husband that they desire, would they have said yes? On average, 50 years ago, the answer would have been no. In fact, women with those desires were largely frowned upon by other women 50 years ago. What I'm talking about right now is who has changed. The black man 50 years ago, he could get we can get in a time machine right now. Take me back 50 years ago. All I would have to figure out is how the lingo is and what to put on for clothes. And I would still be in alignment mentally with your average man from 50 years ago, your average brother. I would. You take a woman from now, send her back 50 years ago, tell her what to wear and what the lingo is, and then let her communicate with her sisterhood. On average, you're going to be out of alignment. Get around a group of 50 black women 50 years ago, throw your ass in there talking about liberation, sexual freedom, body count don't matter. All the shit that y'all telling us just to accept, and it's all good, right? Telling these women, fuck them kids, right? All these slogans we use now. Get around a batch of women, your average black women from 50 years ago talking that shit. And they would have looked, you would have had to wear a scarlet letter. It would have been frowned upon. So what I'm asking you is, who has changed? I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not placing blame. I'm here to hold a conversation. My biases are with nobody. I want the resolution. So we got to have the hard conversations. Who's changed? The women. The answer to the question, in short, is the women. And then now we have to, okay, change is not always bad. So now let's further the conversation. Has it been for the better? 50 years ago, black people, quote unquote, black people, were the most married people in the country, statistically by percentage. Now, least married. Statistically, the marriage is in by way of the woman filing for the divorce at almost 80%. Who has changed? And was it for the better? Because change ain't always for the worse. Who has changed and was it for the better? That's the conversation that this reaction video should breed. I'm anxious to hear what y'all got to say in the comments about it. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to further this conversation. This is something that I could continue to express my POV on, but I would feel better gaining a census from the public. Let's take the biases out. I don't care that I'm a man. I don't want to be right. I just want to fix it, right? Who has changed? The same archetypes of black men that are in the streets right now, they existed 50 years ago. You had some niggas that was playing the field and wasn't really serious about nothing. You had some niggas that was very intentional, wanted to get married young or wanted to get married as soon as possible or whenever their bride presented themselves to them in their fucking journey. They've been ready. Marriage-minded men come from structure about that type shit, or they come from no structure and they want to create the structure that they never had. That type of man has always existed. The type of man that's about his bread, all about his bread. Women are secondary for the entirety of their life. That's just how they look at it. Should they have a wife? Cool. Should they not? Cool. That nigga has always existed. All the types of men we got now have always existed. And I would say at the percentage that they've existed. Our numbers ain't even went up and down. It ain't more fuck niggas now than it used to be. It's not. It's not. Show me anything that would, any numbers, statistics, results, or anything like that that points to the fact that there's more fuck niggas than there used to be. It ain't. It's still a small percentage of fuck niggas. Y'all just all sleep with the same little small percentage of them. That's why most baby daddies are baby daddies of 3 and 4 and 5. These niggas is serial baby daddies. Because it's only a few of them y'all giving the cooch to. 80% of men are unattractive to women. Statistically, and it's been studied. Most men are invisible to y'all. So then I could put it back on the men and say, just because you're a part of the 20% of men that most women find attractive, you're generally accepted as an attractive man in public, it doesn't mean you should run through everything. Let's talk to the fellas real quick. That doesn't mean you should run through everything. That's not what that is. That doesn't mean green light, bro. You still need discipline. You still need principles, morals, intentions, purpose. That comes first. I'm not saying don't have your fun. Be a little responsible about it, though. And don't break no hearts. If she know if she want to give you that cat, sometimes you could just tell them that's what you want. You ain't got to play the game. See, that'd be the thing too. It be dudes out here that are attractive to women, but they don't know how to be a hoe, but they want to be a hoe. So now you out here talking to females like you want to make them your girlfriend because that's the only pathway you know to get to the vagina. And now she think you all in love. So when you dip off, you breaking her heart. When you could have just told her, listen, I want to be physical. I'm not trying to be serious with nothing, nobody. I like you. That's true, but I don't want no relationship. She'll probably still let you do what you need to, what you trying to do, bro. So for the dudes out here that be lying and creating the horror stories that some of these women have, you know, shame on those dudes. We could talk to the fellas too, but let's get back to the question at hand. Over the last 50 years, who's changed? Because our numbers have changed, right? We went from being the most married people in the country to the least married people in the country. So what I'm asking is, who has changed? And do we even care to fix it? Posted a question on TikTok. Yesterday or the day before yesterday. Shit, damn it. I don't know if it's gonna go viral or not, but they still commenting. They are pissed. I posted a question. I said, what is the average black woman's American dream? I asked a question. Even admitted that I don't know. I still don't know. After reading all them comments on TikTok, I still don't know. What's the average black woman's American dream? Some sisters was triggered by the fact that there was a question. Why do niggas care? Damn. Some women answered the question. My American dream is this, this, and this. What I didn't find was any consistency. There was no consistency. I can't tell you what most of the answers were. It's not like, oh, most of them said they want a husband. Because the question was, what's the average black woman's American dream? And does it involve a husband? That was the question in 2 parts. All them comments, and I still can't find a general consensus of what it is. But I could tell you what it was 50 years ago. And I can tell you it definitely involved a husband. So who has changed? And if you ask the average black man what his American dream is, and does it involve a wife? I can answer that. Yes, the majority of us are going to say our American dream involves a wife. Now, today in 2025, if you ask that man, does it have to be a black woman? That answer is going to change from what it would have been 50 years ago. That's going to change, but it's reaction, not proaction. That's what I'm telling you. So ladies, before marriage and before sex, y'all got the ball. Y'all using all this freedom to go play with the ball and run through the streets. You removing all the value that we giving y'all. We're reactive to y'all. Niggas been wanting wives, but the women that we wanted to be wives wanted to be hoes for a little bit. So as a reaction, we like, oh, well, shit, if they going, then I guess we should just play. Then y'all get to an age where y'all want to be serious, but all of the playing then begot us some extra players. We got bench players now. 1 baby, 2 babies, 3 babies, 4 babies, 5 babies. And then there's more players, right? Because these babies ain't all necessarily coming from the same pop. 2 baby daddies, 3 baby daddies. Niggas was trying to marry y'all in middle school. Things changed. My folks met when they was 14. They still together. They met when they was 14. They still together. My godparents met when they was juniors in high school. They still together. My grandparents met when they was teenagers. They stayed together till they died. Both sets. But that's because they met. We talking about people that met in the 40s, people that met in the 50s, people that met in the 60s. What's changed? Our desires have changed, y'all. Let's have a real conversation. I'm on that today. Our desires have changed a lot. A lot. If you could take a survey of the average grown-ass woman walking around, and you tell her, this is completely anonymous, write your name nowhere on this paper. Just answer the question. Write your name nowhere. We won't know who answered this. Write your age, write your name. Write your age and write your answer. That's it. Completely anonymous. Have you been, or do you desire to be, a little loose with it at some point in your life, just for a little bit? The majority of them gonna say, yeah, bro. 50 years ago, that wasn't the case. The virgin to get teased in college the way the hoe would have got teased in high school 50 years ago. So tell me who changed. And the thing about us is, as men, we're so reactive. We still gonna go marry y'all. Yup. Seen it with my own eyes. Seeing it every day. He's still gonna go through holy matrimony with them 126 bodies. He's still gonna marry her. That's how much we love y'all. We still gonna do it. But y'all gotta ask yourself, who changed and was it for the better? And if the way it used to be was too unevenly balanced, ladies, I fuck with you. But the way it is now, is that the fix? Or should we be finding somewhere in the middle? Because maybe it's a little overcompensation happening. Because niggas is checking out. Niggas is checking out. They going to get Mexicans. They going to get Puerto Ricans. They going to get Caucasians. They going to get Filipinos. They going to get Africans. Niggas is checking out. And I don't, and this the real shit right here. I don't care how long a person scream, I'm cool if I don't have nobody. I'm cool. I don't care how long you scream that shit, champ. I done been in a situation where I wanted love and didn't have it at the time for whatever reason. You understand me? I know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like. Y'all niggas don't want to have no real conversation. You know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like? Okay, if you know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like, don't nobody want to die or get old alone. Stop the cap. Them dogs, the poodles, the lizards, the fish tank, none of that shit enough. Stop the fucking cap. We on that tonight. Let's talk some real shit this afternoon. Huh? So who's changed? Huh? Okay then. So we're gonna move off this one. I just can't wait to see the comments. I can't wait to see what y'all say in regards to this one, because it's a great talking point. And I think it's one of the tough conversations that we have to have in order to be progressive as a community of people. Because one thing for sure is black women by and large like black men, and black men by and large like black women. Black men who are married to 85% black women. And then out of the 15%, only 7% of black men are married to Caucasian women. The other 8% are still married to melanated women who are just non-black. So understand, we like it copper colored, baby. We ain't giving up on y'all, but we got to talk. Souls of Thought says, I feel women tolerated more to build 50 years ago than today. Social media has given women a false reality. Perfect example, Beyonce stayed with her husband when he stepped out. Cardi stayed multiple times. Absolutely. Because there's the internet and then there's real life. And we gotta get away from people taking their internet vibes out into the real shit. Because you're not gonna find that in reality. They done turned this shit into Ready Player One on y'all. Go watch the movie Ready Player One if you haven't seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. They done turned this shit into Ready Player One. Motherfuckers just rush to be on their devices to live through the device. What about real life? What about it? I know my parents wouldn't have made it all these years without being real fucking listic. Or my grandparents or my godparents or my aunties and them. All I know is marriages. That's all we know. But it's going to take some, you can't just be out here thinking shit going to be sweet. That shit ain't going to work. But let's move off of this one, man. Let's get off here into something fun. Y'all, listen, that one got me turned up. I ain't had to crash out in a minute. It felt kind of good, y'all. It felt kind of good, man. Let's move into the question of the day. But before we get into the question of the day, fuck it. Let's go with a little music break. Let's get it.
Yeah, I still be trying to see. I be moving like the prize. You can't find another me. Let's get focused. Want the fruits of your labor, gotta climb the tree. Yeah, I'm out here planting seeds, cause I got a lot to leave. I be putting in long miles, I ain't gotta stop to breathe. I be putting in long hours, I ain't gotta stop to sleep. Yeah, I put in that time, put in work, I'm a different breed. My work ethic marine, mama mentality, shout out to Bean. Coach Life Sweat, City Society T. I'm in the gym working out.
Yeah.
Bad work, 5 punch combinations, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. I'm made different. I work too hard.
All right. Yeah, so we got the question of the day today. What is first baddie syndrome? So check it out. I actually drew up a real definition of first baddie syndrome because I Googled it, I TikToked it, I Instagrammed it, and I only found 2 videos total. And that was on YouTube as well. I only found 2 videos total. So this is largely an uncoined term. So y'all hearing it first on the classic codes, what the first baddie syndrome is. Let me get it pulled up for y'all. All right. First baddie syndrome. Y'all see that, chat? First baddie syndrome. This syndrome, hold on, blocking part of it. Here we go. The first baddie syndrome. This syndrome is caused when a man has or gains access to a woman who is superior to all the other women he has dealt with up to that point in time. This syndrome causes abnormal behaviors and unpredictable emotional spikes in the man. Behavioral examples consist of love bombing, oversharing, and disregarding his circle. Let's go through that one more time. First baddie syndrome. The question of the day is, what is first baddie syndrome? First baddie syndrome, coined by Classic himself. This is my definition. Anybody steal it, y'all point back to me. All right, hold me down. First baddie syndrome. This syndrome is caused when a man has or gains access to a woman who is superior to all the other women he has dealt with up to that point in time. This syndrome causes abnormal behaviors and unpredictable emotional spikes in the man. Behavioral examples: love bombing, oversharing, and disregarding his circle. So check it out, y'all. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Let's get this out the way. Most men will never, ever get to experience first baddie syndrome. Let's get this out the way. 75, 80% of all men, all ethnicities, will never get to experience first baddie syndrome. So let's remove the shame from all the men who have experienced first baddie syndrome, because you're in a small percentage of men who had access to a baddie. At least one in your life, you got you a baddie. Do you know how many men? Let's because I want the men to be able to be honest about the time where they had first baddie syndrome. I want men to be able to be honest. So let's remove the shame. Let's remove the shame. Most men will die never having had experienced a baddie. There's a small percentage of men who get sexual access to the baddies. Hence the fact you see all the men that are monetarily successful saying that a lot of the women they deal with are kind of cyclical. Oh, he used to go with her and she used to talk to him, and because there's the baddies kind of rocking a certain, you know. So if you Joe Smo or middle class Mikey or whatever the case may be, and a baddie happens to just like you, she like you. She used to date a ball player. She used to date a baseball. She might still be married to an executive, but she happened to like you. If you are in the small percentage of men who has had access to a baddie, don't feel shame about if you had first baddie syndrome. Kanye West gave us some good advice, fellas. He said you got to treat the bad chick like the fat chick. Treat the bad chick like she average. I'm here today to answer the first baddie syndrome question, man. I think that I spelled it out very well, and I think that women should A, be aware if they're a baddie, B, be able to spot if they're dealing with a man who is going through first baddie syndrome on them, and C, give some grace. Give some grace. When I went through first baddie syndrome, I'm not going to tell y'all when, what age, none of that. We not doing that. Yeah, I got my shit out the way early. But when I went through first baddie syndrome, I was luckily not old enough. I'm grateful that I was luckily not old enough to like tweak, because I would have tweaked. If I was old enough to be, I'm giving some of it away. I was so young when I went through first baddie syndrome. I wasn't even in a situation where I could have did the shit that was on my mind. I had to resort to shit like writing love letters and like buying a flower. That's what age I was. That's how old I was. Like I wasn't. So, but the problem is a lot of men, they build themselves up. They didn't get to, y'all got to realize, champ, yo chat, I was 5'11" in 6th grade. I played football and basketball on good teams. You see what I'm saying? So I've been him for a long time. So like the first baddie syndrome for me, I'm grateful it happened young. But what I'm seeing out here and what I'm seeing on the internet, what I'm seeing in public, in person, you got men that are building themselves up. They've been invisible for a while. Niggas hitting their growth spurts at 18. There's people that's got all different types of things in their journey. And you got a lot of men that are building themselves up. They're learning how to become attractive. They learning how to do their hygiene all the way right. They done found the right barber that's not pushing their shit back no more. They know they found the right cut for themselves that go with the symmetry of their face. They done found their little pocket. They know how they want to dress, or maybe they went and got them a stylist. They got the online stylist. You pay like $75 a month. They send you outfits. I'm gonna dress you. You feel me? You got men that are getting it together. And so they getting it together 25, 26, 30, 32. And they bumping into they getting attention from the joint that never saw them. They could have moved to a whole different state. But y'all know what I'm talking about. It's archetypes. Let's stop playing like it ain't ratings. When you go to a social event, it's some 8s and some 9s up in here, maybe just a couple. It's normally not, depending on where you live. And then it's some, you got the averages. You got the good looking regular 6, 5. We don't use 7. The 6s, the 5s, those are good looking regular women. No makeup, fresh out the shower, a good looking woman. She doll it up. She might get to, you feel me? Them upper numbers, right? Normally, you might be a brother that get attention from the 4s, the 3s. That's kind of where you play at. But now that you done got yourself together, you step back outside after coming out of isolation and building yourself up. You step outside, all of a sudden that 8 and that 9 looking at you like, how you doing? And at first, fellas, if you ain't had nobody to give you the game or to lay it out for you, them, whoever, bro, it's okay. You might get a little flustered. Stop it. If you only been getting attention from, let's make it real. If you only been getting attention from, I'm trying to find somebody that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like this. Like if you, somebody help me out, chat. If you only been getting attention from some mid, like just a regular round the way, you feel me? And then all of a sudden you build yourself up and you step back outside, you go to like a little corporate event and damn near Paula Patton at the event as a guest speaker, and she come off stage and stop in her tracks and introduce herself to you. And you like, oh man, your dumb ass might not even know she was trying to see what was to it. Stupid. That's Paula Patton. She don't got to stop in her tracks to introduce herself to nobody. She stop and talk to you. Hi, I'm Paula. First baddie syndrome kick in like a motherfucker. You either don't know what to say, don't know how to say what you want to say. Maybe you get past the first interaction. The shit kicks in, yo. Chat, do y'all know about first baddie syndrome? Ladies in the chat, have y'all ever been somebody's first baddie? Fellas in the chat, have you ever when you got your first baddie, or if you ever experienced a baddie, did you have first baddie syndrome? Did you? I'll tell y'all one thing. My first baddie, I almost crashed out about my first baddie. Yeah, I almost fist fought a nigga in the playground for mine. I was finna crash out. Yeah. I thought we was getting married. Yeah. Oh. Chad almost crashed out behind mine, G. I ain't gonna lie to you. But hey, man, if you go through it, you go through it. The erratic behaviors, though, that you see people exhibit, like you could tell, like, damn, that must be his first one. He doing a lot. Oversharing her own. Nigga sending a picture of his girl to the group chat. Bro, why you sending us your girl, bro? Yeah, I got me one. Man, listen, you ain't send us your last joint. No, she wasn't like this. It's just like when somebody get their first pistol. He take the pistol everywhere. Got the pistol on the desk, pistol on him, pistol in the car, pistol to the grocery. Yeah, Mars be tweaking about the first baddie, man. Oh my god. Oh shit. All right, man. But that's the question of the day, man. First baddie syndrome. Holy smokes, man. Goodness gracious. All right, y'all. We about to move into a story time reaction. We moving into the wonderful world of TikTok. Y'all know I like to take y'all over there every once in a while. And we're going to do a story time. I didn't watch the whole story, so we're going to go full authentic reaction with it. Did not watch it. I think I watched like the first 30 seconds, and I was just like, bet we going to use it. Whatever she talking about, we going to use it. So we're going to learn about this together, y'all. Bet we good. Let's roll. Let's see what she talking about.
And that I knew I
Okay.
wanted to be friends.
Okay, so check it out.
Away.
So check it out. It looked like the topic is situationships, right?
And I will be
So we're gonna see what she's saying in regards to situationships.
And I know when you put a year or time limit on how long you deal with somebody in a situationship type of experience, a lot of people are like, what? How could you do that for so long? Well, for me, I can only talk about my experience, is that I put myself in that situation thinking that I could be friends with benefits or that I wouldn't catch feelings, and that I knew I wanted a relationship and he did not. And I thought that I could still do that and like not get my feelings involved. And I learned the hard way that I cannot do that. I started to, have feelings for this person. You spend time with them, you're intimate with them, you're being vulnerable with them. Eventually, you will feel some type of way and you will want more, even though I entered the situation knowing that he could not offer me more than what we were already doing. So I kind of broke my own heart.
Yeah.
So
Hey, hold on, chat. Shout out to this woman. I will be tagging her credentials in the edited version of this video, as I always do for the TikTok content creators. I don't know who she is, but I will find out shortly. Shout out to this woman. Because so many times we've seen it, so many times where a man will actually be honest. And I've had this happen to me. I've had females go with me. I didn't go with them. I'm her boyfriend. She not my girlfriend. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And I told the truth. You see what I'm saying? It's so many times where a man will be upfront and honest because y'all asked for the truth. So you finally found a guy that tells the truth. And then you fool yourself into thinking you could deal with him where he at. Because y'all say this. What they say, chat, give me the truth so I could decide what I want to do. And then you give them the truth, they decide to fuck with you. Now, you just told them you ain't giving them love. You just told them you ain't giving them marriage. You told them all you got for them is some hard wood. I ain't talking about basketball. Okay? That's what you told them. They said, bet. Now you fall in love. What happens is, after they fall in love and then the shit go left or whatever the case may be, somehow it'll be the man's fault. And kudos to this woman for saying she broke her own heart. That's a fucking woman. That's a woman growing from a young woman to a grown-ass woman right there in front of our fucking eyes right there. Okay? Respect to her. I'm just giving it up.
I don't fault him for that, but I do think there was a point where he had feelings for me too. But he knew that he couldn't give me that. And so it was like, I'm giving you something, then he would pull away. I'm giving you something, he will pull away. And I will be holding on to the something, and the pull away used to just cut me so deep. And the back and forth gets tiring after a while, and you just have to make a decision. So I made a decision like, I can't do this anymore. And I did that decision before. I would cut him off and be like, I can't do this anymore. And then, some time would go by, and then I would break the no contact. And then some time will go by and I'll break the no contact. But after the last time, I was like, yeah, I have to be done with this, because one, I'm blocking my own blessing for other people trying to enter my life. So I had to end that, because if I'm holding on to that, I can't allow somebody new to come in.
Come on.
So yeah, I had to end.
Okay, we got what we need from her. Who else here has been in a monogamous situationship? You guys been monogamous in a situationship, telling dudes they can't get to you because you got a guy, knowing that ain't your guy? That's a situationship. That is not your guy. Because he not turning nothing down talking about he got a girl. Unless he's the one that's on the end of the side that she's on, right? He's the one in love, and the female is the one that can handle it, which is masculinity. But it happens. Whoever's on the side of I fell too far in love, they played themselves. Cortez, shout out. He said facts. Shout out to Cortez in the chat. Oh, we got some activity in the chat now. Man, y'all waking up, huh? Y'all sleep earlier. But yeah, man, it's a lot of people been monogamous to situationships. But you know, some things we learn through experience. You feel me? But I appreciate this woman because I always say don't go through something for nothing. We all go through shit. It's the only way to grow. Sometimes the only way out is through. You feel me? That's life. But don't go through something for nothing. It seemed like she not gonna have to repeat this level because she took the lessons that she needed. You feel me? I really got a lot of respect for this woman. I really do. But as far as the topic of situationships, I think that as men, you should only let a woman break her own heart fucking with you like one time. I think the first time I seen a female fool herself, when I was up front, like, hey, this where my demarcation is. I'm not really on that going past this point with nobody. It don't even make it about you with nobody. So I don't care how intense the vibes is or how vibey the vibes is and the vibes and the vibes. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going past this point because that ain't what I'm on right now. Right? You up front, they cool. You know, I'm not looking for nothing serious, blah, 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 blah. And they start really liking you. They start really liking you. Really, 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 really liking you. Start trying to have conversations y'all should never have because you was up front in the door. So we should never circle around to a conversation like what we doing. What you mean what we doing? We've been said what we was doing. 333 to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody joining in. But yeah, we've been said what we was doing. So what do you mean what we doing? Why are we circling around to a what we doing? I told you what it was in the door. What, you been in the house too long? Might be time to get out. You feel me? So I definitely, you know, but once as a man, once you go through that, like telling a woman up front, and you kind of know what a woman fooling herself or lying to herself looks like, you shouldn't allow the next woman to do it and the next woman to do it and the next woman to do it. Like anytime you serial with the situationships and every time your situationships end, it's never amicable. It's always somebody like emotionally fucked up on the other side of it. You doing that wrong. Like sometimes you got to protect somebody from themselves. If you're the person that's more wise in the situation, you do have a little bit of an obligation to protect somebody from themselves. Or you just got to decide, like I always tell my little homies, because I mentor a couple homies. I got younger friends and shit like that. So they'll look, it's kind of a, you know what I'm saying, big brother, little brother type relationship. And they'll be like, yo, like, bro, I got a question, like, you know, and I just tell them, like, you got to decide what type of man you want to be. It's different types of men, right? So you got the man that will continuously allow women to fool themselves and get into situationships and hurt themselves because you being honest. So you're not doing anything wrong because you being honest up front. But if you now know what a woman lying to herself looks like, don't allow her to hurt herself. Tell her, you know what? I'm not even going to go there with you because I feel like you can't handle this. And when they tell you, oh, boy, boom, well, I can handle it, whoa, 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 draw a line in the sand. Nah, you can't. And I'm not even trying to boost my ego. I just been here before. And I don't want neither one of our feelings to get hurt. You should be having them conversations. We got comments. Cortez says, most of them are happy in that state until they realize that they want a ring or domestic living. What age does that happen? Or what point does that happen, Cortez? Talk to me. He also said, if you're the guy, you got to get out of there before more damage is done. I would say don't even get into it. I think you should only go too far once. Like once I seen a female break her own heart and then tell me I broke it. Once I saw that happen once, I ain't let nobody do that to themselves again. I ain't let another female do that to themselves. Not with me is what I'm saying. I ain't let them do that to themselves with me. Like, hey, you know, I tell them like, hey, I feel like you care a little too much about me for us to go past certain points because I feel like you're going to fall in love. And I know I can handle it. I know I can. You can't. I can. No. It's going to be ugly. Usually 34 in today's society. Damn, 34? Hey, we be acting like we're going to live forever. We be telling people to stay kids. Look, we be calling 21-year-olds and 22-year-olds kids. We be saying 34 is time to wake up and shit. We approaching this shit like we got 115 years. Cortez said, but around that age, give or take a few. I feel that. Based on like the average trajectory and shit. Yeah, I mean, shit, a public school puts you at a disadvantage out the gate. Like people who went to private schools, they definitely got a leg up in adulthood. We got a 333, the first one of the day. JD, what's going on, man? Shout out Cortez. Shout out JD. Shout out Souls of Thought. Oh, yeah, y'all could catch me live again, too, in a few hours. I'll be on Souls of Thought channel as a guest on his panel tonight, talking about a few dope topics. So I'm just joining the panel like anybody else. I'll just be a guest. I'm not a normal person on his show. So I'm looking forward to that. So if y'all want more of me, no Puffy, this evening, definitely tap in on Souls of Thought channel and give him a subscribe too. We all eating out here in the content creation space. Cortez said, yeah, just averages, bro. Yeah, for sure. I feel you. I feel you. But yeah, situationships get tricky and they get tricky fast. They get tricky and they get tricky fast. So I would just say with the situationship shit, you got to really find somebody that's in the same space as you. Like maybe both of y'all just happen to be getting out of relationships and y'all could be each other's temporary comfort and shit like that. Like y'all both need somebody in the win real quick. If y'all both in that space, then it's going to work out. But if somebody like in a space where they've been single for a little minute and the other person fresh to being single, that person fresh to being single, they not finna move out of that situationship space faster than the person that been single for a year already. They finna fall in love right quick. They trying to remember what it used to be like. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, man, shout out to this woman, man. Shout out to her for sharing her candid POV on how she pretty much broke her own heart by way of entering into a situationship that she wasn't ready for. Yeah, it's not a lot of people that could do that, man. So yeah, that was the story time for the day for TikTok. And then we got one last segment, which is the code language conversation. But before we get into that, because there's a few people in the chat, let's go chat Q&A. Somebody throw a question out. You know, anybody, y'all can ask about anything. Something you may want my POV on, something you want to discuss in general. Y'all throw a question out real quick. And then we're gonna do a little Q&A. I'll take a few, and then we'll go into the code language. Let's do it like that. I see y'all. I see the numbers in here. Shout out to everybody tapped in on the live with me today too. I know normally I'm on live earlier, but Wednesdays I got physical therapy. You know what I'm saying? I'm recovering from this knee injury, so I always got to come live a little late. But yeah, he said the vibe gets most hurt. Yeah, people be falling in love with the vibes. The vibes. I just go off vibes. Vibes are how you giving up coochie too soon. Vibes are how you leaving the tip in too long. Vibes. The vibes how you in trouble. Don't do the vibes. Talk to me though, chat. Let's do a chat Q&A. Talk to me. Yes, Lord. Give y'all like 2 minutes. Somebody float a question in the air. I know Cortez got a topic. I know Souls of Thought probably getting ready for the show tonight, though. Them shows got to be big, though. I think he streamed like Souls of Thought streams like what is it? Once every well, he does his panel every other Wednesday. So it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. 2 per month. So you got to make them joints count for sure. All right, shit. It don't look like y'all got a question. Let's move into the code language then. Charge it to the game. So the code language conversation. The code language conversation today is about outlets. Having an outlet. You know how I always start off the code language? We're going to go to the book definition of it. So the definition of an outlet. So the second definition is the one I'm referring to, which is a place from which goods... No. That says goods are sold. All right, so an outlet is the third definition. A means of expressing one's talents, energy, or emotions. I'll read that again. Outlet, a means of expressing one's talents, energy, or emotions. So the reason why this code language is going to be important is because... Oh, hold on. Did we have a question come in? Hold on. Oh, we got comments. Hold on real quick. Perception versus reality. Men shouldn't vent to their women. That kind of ties in with the code language. So he said, perception versus reality. Men shouldn't vent to their women is what Cortez said. Shout out to Cortez in the chat again. In the code language, we're talking about outlets today, which is actually a part of the conversation, right? So in the definition where it says a means of expressing one's talents, energy, or emotions, it's very important that people understand what outlets are beneficial to them and what outlets could actually do more harm than good, right? So with that being said, like a place to express one's talents, I think is always a beneficial outlet in regards to let's say you're gifted at sports, right? And you're going through a lot in life and you just feel free at home and you feel at peace when you can go and play this sport that you're super gifted at, whether it be soccer, basketball. And it may not be where you have a game. You might just go train really, really hard. And that gives you the release and the relief that you're looking for. You know what I mean? I think that's a beautiful outlet to have in regards to expressing one's talents. Also, if you have a musical talent, if you play an instrument, you know, you see some people that kind of let their spirit, their emotions, their energy just glide across the strings of the guitar or come out through the tube of the saxophone or whatever the case may be. So those outlets are all positive, productive, you know, potentially profitable, right? But then, like Cortez spoke about, he said men shouldn't vent to their women. Let's talk about the outlets that are people, right? Confidants, because I don't believe in confidants. Human confidants, I don't believe in. I believe your confidant should be God or your pet if you got an animal. Yeah, so I don't think you should, you know, here's the whole thing about a confidant. What is it exactly that you're venting about? What is it exactly that you're sharing? So my rule of thumb is if I wouldn't post it on social media, I'm probably not going to tell you. Whoever you is, I don't care who watching this, you. If I wouldn't share it on social media, I'm probably not going to tell you. It's probably a list of like 2 people. Other than that, I'm not telling you. So, yeah, I don't believe in confidants. I believe that confidential information, you see how confidant and confidential are so closely rooted. I believe that confidential information is not to be shared. Once you share it, it's no longer confidential. Raise your hand if you know more than 5 people that could keep a secret. My hand is down. If you know more than 5 people that could keep a secret. Most people can't hold water. This how it go. Hey, don't tell nobody, you know, just keep this between me and you, but woo, 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 woo. Get off the phone or leave the personal interaction. Boom. They go talk to they other super close homie or they girlfriend, or if it's a woman you talk to, they guy friend, or they home girl or whatever, right? They go talk to the next their other close buddy person in their life, whoever that may be. Yeah, I was talking to Classic earlier. Yeah, he was telling me and then they start talking about your business. That's how that shit go in real life. Now y'all could talk about the fantasy world where you tell your confidant some shit, like even dudes. Since we talking about outlets, y'all, we talking about outlets. I'm talking about an outlet that may or may not be productive. We talked about expressing yourself through your talents and how that's productive. Now we talking about expressing yourself to people. Depending on what it is that you need to express and what it is that you need to get out, if it's something that's confidential, close to the chest, private, etc., I wouldn't share it with a human. Call me hurt, call me scorned, just call me. But shit, I wouldn't share it with no fucking person. People love to talk about people's business. Look at my channel, see if y'all find some shit about Diddy on my channel. I don't care. The only reason why I'm posting about Tory Lanez is because that's a black man being getting served a horrible injustice. We gonna cover that. But Diddy being a freakazoid, we're not covering that shit over here, man. This ain't no gossip channel. This is a sociology channel. We fixing shit over here. But let's have a real conversation about whether or not confidants are real. I wouldn't talk to a person because they're going to talk about your business to whoever the next closest motherfucker to them is 9 times out of 10. Dudes, y'all ain't safe either. You tell your homeboy and your homeboy got a wife, he'll talk to his wife about your business. Shout out to Mr. McBride, the other half of the Correct Me If I'm Wrong podcast. I posted that on one of my timelines or stories on one of these platforms one day, and he jumped on the comments and was like, "Absolutely, I'm telling my wife. Don't tell me if you don't want my wife to know. I talk to my wife about everything. So yeah, if you tell me your business, it's probably gonna come up in me and my wife conversations." He was open about the shit. And he's just the one that's open about it, but everybody's doing it. These niggas be pillow talking to their girls. Your homeboys is yipping too. So ain't no confidence. I wouldn't use a human as my outlet because that shit could get worse for you. So and then another outlet is said expressing a way of expressing your energy. That's another outlet that I want to talk to y'all about. The art of yoga and meditation. That's another way to release and relieve yourself of whatever pressures or anything that you need. You just may want to lift. You may be feeling fine and you just want to lift. You want some euphoria right quick. But yoga, meditation, and breathing exercises, all of those things help. And they coincide too. You can meditate through yoga and do breathing at the same time. So, or you can do them individually. You could just be driving in your car and just do your breathing techniques while you're driving. So these are things you can do consciously, subconsciously, but tapping into them and using them, weaponizing them as stress relievers, balancers, all of these things is very important to understand it. That would be a productive way to go about having an outlet. But I think the way that is least productive is the way that people in general use the most. A lot of times when people having a rough day, they call somebody and talk to somebody about it. Or they go home if they live at home with somebody and they talk to whoever at home about it, or whatever the case. And they pass the energy instead of releasing the energy out and just pushing that shit out, they'll pass that shit. Somebody will call me and unload on me. Now I'm a little fucked up. And I ain't even want to hear it if we being real. Y'all know on my channel, I got introvert content, isolation content, stay away from niggas content. Hey, listen, this is as social as I'm trying to be with you niggas. Yeah. I know what's outside. That's why I don't be out there. Yeah. And when I go outside, I leave the country. This is a low vibrational place because the sheep are being shepherded by the wicked. Y'all take that and do what y'all want with it. The percentage of motherfuckers that's enlightened like me is too low for me to be outside. And when I want to be around people, I leave the country and go somewhere where the frequency is higher. That makes sense to y'all? That's why I don't kick it. I vacation. You're not catching me at the bar on the weekend, but you might catch me in Barbados. I'm just talking. Real shit. So, yeah, and I like it like that. I really do. But yeah, man, I think that having outlets, healthy outlets, is very important. And just understanding which ones are not going to serve you is equally as important. But that's all I got for the code language conversation, man. I hope y'all take that and use it and weaponize it and make it something that's beneficial to you and incorporate it into your code cracking as you try to elevate yourself in whatever sections and compartments in life that you're working on. For sure. But if there ain't no questions, man, for the Q&A, we're going to wrap the live, and I'm going to prepare my mind to prepare my myself for the live stream later on with Souls of Thought on YouTube. So if y'all got any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. I hope y'all got some enjoyment, some education, and some entertainment out of this. The 3 E's. I hope y'all got all 3 out of this segment today, as you do every day. I'm telling y'all, man, it's the most consistent and the most dominant afternoon YouTube live stream that y'all gonna get out here. You know what I mean? We here every day. I'll be here tomorrow. If I ain't here, worry about me. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. That's how we moving. And we walking shit down. The subs going up every day. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you already have, tell a friend, right? Hit the notifications button. Turn on the notifications. I'm live. We here. We streaming. Hit the like button. Jump in the comments whether you agree or disagree. We just going to have a respectful conversation, learn from each other's perspectives, and we going to crack these codes. But if without further ado, man, if y'all don't do nothing else for me, stick to the codes. Yeah.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart.